Maybe you're listening to Citizen Georgia with Anthony Scott Hobbs this beautiful Sunday afternoon. If you're driving around Metro Atlanta, forget that Dogwood Festival and get up here to the Big Shanty and see what you can see with all the fantastic arts and crafts and vendors that are out here today. We've got our next guest up here today, Joseph Pond, who's running for Cobb County Commission, District Post 3. We want to welcome Joseph to the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, Joseph, appreciate I'd like to get right into the hub right away. You know, I initially heard about you guys. This is that Chicken Man guy. And,
yes.
and if you could tell me just a little bit about what that's all about or why you're running, I'd love to hear more about what got you into this race.
Yes, I'm the chicken guy. It all started with owning a handful of chickens. A neighbor looked over the fence, saw them, decided they were going to kill her property value. She turned me into the Board of Commissioners. Come to find out, you have to have 2 acres of land to own a chicken in Cobb County. You can own as many dogs, as many cats as you want, but to own a chicken for fresh eggs, you have to own 2 acres of land. Had to get rid of, in the long run, I had to get rid of my chickens. I've spent the last few years working, talking to the citizens of Cobb County, working to change the laws concerning personal property rights, trying to enable us to own chickens, do what we want to on our own property.
And when it comes to personal property rights, whether it's having a boat in your driveway, having too many cars in your driveway, too big of a fence, what have you. This really was a personal property rights issue for you then, huh?
Yes, sir. It was. People say, oh, what about chickens? It's not that big a deal. And it is that big a deal. As you said, it's chickens, it's pets, it's how tall is your grass, how big is your mailbox. It's our property. We should be able to do what we want to with it. Now, if a person lives in an area, in a subdivision with an HOA, with covenants, that's a whole different matter. You know, that's a personal choice that you made, a contract you made with a group of people. But the government should not act, the county should not act like a large HOA.
So that's very typical, I think, of folks wanting to run for public office. You have something that happens to you in your private life, and you say, that's not right. I'm going to get involved in this race. And for you, obviously, it was that personal property tax or personal property right to get involved. Why else you want to run for this seat, or why are you running for the Cobb County Commission?
What really pushed me over the edge was the Braves deal. For my commissioner to come out and say it's a no-brainer for us to spend $300 million of the taxpayers' money without asking the taxpayers what their opinion of it.
Can I correct you real quick there? Wasn't $300 million, was actually, that's the principal. With interest, it's $590 million of taxpayer money. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I knew it was much more than that. 300 is what they're advertising it as. I was at the Board of Commissioners meeting where they jubilantly raised the taxes on hotels and taxi cabs to raise another $5.3 million a year, but couldn't come up with enough money to pay for public safety, to put more officers on the street, more well-equipped officers.
I can only imagine most of us here walking out here today are Braves fans.
Yes.
Braves, yes, but when it comes to $600 million property tax dollars, mind you, property tax dollars goes to the general fund. The general fund pays for our public safety, which over the last 3 years, for example, we've lost 170 officers to other jurisdictions. We are in a public safety crisis. But in that context, we're going to take a quick break here just because we've got the train coming. Hold on real quick. By our booth here today, we were talking about your tax dollars. Obviously, we're all fans of the Atlanta Braves, but at the same point, should $600 million plus be going towards a private company, private enterprise? We're going to go back on 2 seconds. Hold on.
We're recording, sorry.
Coming back right at you, had to take a quick break there because of the train going by here in downtown Kennesaw. We've got Joseph Pond, who's running for Cobb County Commission District. You know, just as we went to the break there, Joseph, your personal property rights, that was one thing that brought you in. You said how the commissioners handled this Atlanta Braves deal. Why don't you elaborate a little further what got your skin boiling when it came to your taxpayer money being used for the Braves?
First and foremost, it was the arrogance of the chairman of the Board of Commissioners to say, no, I don't want the input of the people that we are taxing. I don't need it, he says. My commissioner said, it's a no-brainer. We don't need to talk to people about it. We need people on the Board of Commissioners that are going to represent the people of Cobb County, not the Chamber of Commerce, not big industry. I do not support spending any tax dollars on what I consider corporate welfare. The Chamber of Commerce is a wonderful thing. It has its place to bring business to Cobb County. It's the responsibility of the government of Cobb County to create a community that businesses will want to move to, will have their employees live there.
What do you think would be the, if you could outline for us the top 3 reasons or top 3 things that you would do if elected as county commissioner? What would be the top 3 things that you would try to integrate or implement?
One of the things that I want to change is the ethics board. Currently, there's a 6-month statute of limitations. And if they commit ethics, if they commit fraud, if they commit any ethics violation, if they can hide it for 6 months, they get away with it. That needs to change. We need to change giving away property taxes to lure business here. We should not be using any taxpayer money to lure business here. We need to get public safety back where it belongs. We need to hire the police officers. We need to give them equipment that they need to keep our streets safe. We need to quit robbing money from the water department to pay for the general fund.
Let me ask you, and we're going to go kind of into our rapid fire session here just on a couple issues. Transportation, you have at one time $1 billion BRT bus rapid transit, $1 billion. Then some engineers said, we don't need to spend $1 billion of taxpayer money. It'll only cost $500 million. What's your position on the BRT coming down through Cobb County Parkway?
BRT, plain and simple, is BS. We don't need to spend taxpayer money to have a rapid bus line down the middle of 41, period.
And going on to another question, when it comes to taxes, are you in favor of this fractional T-SPLOS or this fractional SPLOS that they've been discussing in the legislature?
Realistically, I'm not in favor of any designer taxes. All of it is just smoke and mirrors, trying to milk more tax dollars out of the people. Whether you want to call it a host, a SPLOS, T-SPLOS, this, that, and the other, it's all alphabet soup, and it's all crap. Just stop playing the games, figure out what we need to run the core essentials of the government, set the tax rate, and be done with it.
You know, I'm sure you know we've been advocating over the last few weeks for our Cobb County Police or public safety. Obviously, we believe that government, one of the main rights or main responsibilities of government is to provide for the public safety on the local level. And in the last 3 years, we've had almost 170 officers move on to other jurisdictions or resign or retire. So we do have an issue right now when it comes to maintaining good officers. Are you an advocate of helping out the police, or what are your thoughts there?
Most definitely. We have to maintain a good public safety department in order to maintain a quality community. They need the money, they need the resources. We have one of the best training facilities in the state of Georgia. We don't need to be training police officers for the rest of Metro Atlanta.
And last, for those of you that do live in, if you live in Post 3 of the Commission District, or Commission District 3, you know, basically you're looking at northeast Cobb, What would you say to a voter today, if you were looking at them in the eyes, what would you say to a voter of why they should vote for you?
Because I want to represent the people of Cobb County, not the Board of Commissioners. It's time that the people are represented in the government.
You know, and one last, just because I know we just got a little more time. Yesterday we were interviewing Ron Siphon of the Cobb County Civic Coalition. We are talking about a number of different specific cases where commissioners can define or sign or waive, if you will, a minor exemption on the development project themselves. What are some of your thoughts there, quickly?
Yeah, that's what they're calling the minor modifications. As a master plumber, as a tradesman, I understand the need for minor modifications. What the county needs to do in this case, and in a lot of other cases, is spell out exactly what minor modifications are, and not, adding buildings to property after zoning has vetted them and approved them is not a minor modification. Paint color is a minor modification. Placement of a window is minor modification. It needs to be clearly defined, the parameters clearly set, and go forward from there.
We want to thank Joseph Pond, who's running for the Cobb County Commission District 3, which is basically northeast Cobb. If you haven't registered to vote, you have until April 21st. You can obviously go on down or contact the Cobb County Board of Elections. And obviously, we've got advanced voting starting up on April 28th. Want to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll continue some of our interviews here at the Big Shanty Festival. Thanks, Joseph, for being on the show.
Thank you very much.